All right, today we're going to be talking about letting go, why this is important, and how it can actually improve your opportunities for getting the kind of relationship that you want. Let's go ahead and get into this. Hey there, it's Clay with modernlove.life, and today we are talking about letting go. Now, this can be upsetting thought or topic for a lot of people that I've spoken to. Many times we think that if we let go of a person or a relationship emotionally, that it means that we're not going to be able to get it. That if we just have this sort of laser locked in focus on trying to connect with them, get back together with them, force an outcome, if we have this extreme attachment to outcome, that alone is what is going to keep us moving forward to the point where we can actually, get back together. That's actually one of the biggest challenges people have when it comes to acceptance, is learning to let go of that attachment to outcome, learning to accept things where they are right now, and learning to be at peace with the world that's unfolding before them. And if you saw my last video, you may know that things have been difficult for me over the past 6 months with my mom's health issues, her stroke and her heart attack and everything like that, as well as some other personal things that are going on in my life as well too, as long as just stress and things like that. And one thing that's been really helpful for me is to just let go. Like for example, I could be emotionally distraught that my mom is having these health issues, and I can fight against it, and sure, I'm going to do what I need to do, but I can fight against it. But that's only going to create more suffering. That's only going to create more challenge in me through resisting and pushing away something that's coming up. And so what was actually really helpful for me when I was in Seattle, driving back and forth to the hospital every day to see her and all that sort of stuff, I would listen to these audiobooks by David Hawkins, who I guess is very well known in a sort of niche kind of way for developing what's called the hierarchy of consciousness, the map of consciousness, where he basically says, hey, there are certain levels of consciousness, all the way from guilt and shame to pride and anger to neutrality to love, and at the top, enlightenment. And if we can start to let go of certain emotions, we can start to ascend these levels of consciousness. I mean, I wasn't really listening to this at the time with the explicit purpose of trying to deal with emotionally and let go of my mom's health issues, but it just happened that I was reading that or listening to that audiobook while I was driving around and doing all this stuff related to my mom's health. But at night when I'd get back to my mom's house from the hospital, and I'd be sitting there in my own childhood bedroom after doing a bunch of chores and stuff, and just sit there with my feelings, I was like, okay, let's try some of this letting go stuff, one of the things in David Hawkins' books. And so I would just sit there with this feeling, this thought, hey, what if my mom really passes away? What if she really dies? What if this is it? Obviously it's not something that I would want to happen right now. I still feel incomplete with her and our experience together, and I want her to know my daughter, her granddaughter more. I want them to have more of a relationship, so that my daughter can remember my mom and all that stuff a little bit more. But I had to sit there with these feelings and learn to hold on to them, and learn to be at peace with them, and learn to accept them. And it's not that I was willing to give up on my mom. It's not that I was ready to just throw in the towel and just say, okay, Mom, best of luck. You do you. Hope things work out for you. I'm out of here. No, I wasn't like that. I was going to take care of her. I was going to do what I needed to do to help her, to deal with the situation. But I wanted to work emotionally on this own resistance that I had about letting go. this own resistance that I had about the possibility that, my mom is mortal and she's going to pass away at some point, and that time when she passes away could be sooner than I want it to be. And so, I just had to sit there with those feelings, sit there with them and acknowledge them and hold on to them and embrace them. And as I did, I started to experience them more fully and experience whatever grief I might have felt, and experience whatever fear or insecurity or anxiety or even anger or frustration at the situation that I might have felt. And once I was able to fully feel it, I started to experience more of a sense of peace with the whole situation. And what this has to do with you, by the way, if you like these videos, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon as well too. These things do help us with the YouTube algorithm. And if you have a comment to share, please share it down below in the comment section as well. But what this has to do with you is that, if you're there going through some sort of breakup and you think that if you let go emotionally, that you're not going to get the relationship, and that the only thing holding you to that possibility of working things out is your clinging to outcome, just know that that's not true. Oftentimes when we let go of attachment to outcome, that's when we can actually start to get what it is that we want. Because when we're attached to outcome, we're sort of highlighting the separation that we have between ourself and what it is that we want, between ourself and our partner, ourself and the relationship that we want. And we're highlighting that, and we're saying like, okay, hey, I want to connect with you because I'm not connecting with you right now. I want to have this relationship because I'm feeling its lack right now. And if you just focus in on that lack and focus in on trying to close that lack, trying to close that gap, sure, of course, do what makes sense, but emotionally work through those things to the point where you can be at peace with, what may or may not be unfolding before you. And if you can sit with the possibility that this relationship could be over, that your life with this person, you might just be split, going your separate ways and living your own individual lives moving forward. If you can come to peace with that, not in a way where it's like, okay, well, I'm going to sign up for Tinder and go on 1 million dates or anything, or anything like that, but if you can just emotionally come to peace with that, then you can let go of that emotional attachment to outcome and set yourself up to remove that resistance that's actually there when you focus in on the lack. Because if you remove that resistance that's there and start to welcome in the experience of not having the relationship, of not having the person in your life, not having the connection, and you can be at peace with it, now suddenly you actually have the space, emotional space and capacity to bring in that and so much more into your life. But it's when your emotions are focused in on resisting something, trying to fix something, trying to solve something, that's when oftentimes a lot of the resistance is only amplified. And so we really want to work through these way of being blocks where we could be pushing back on something, we could be resisting something, and we could be fighting against something that's actually unfolding. That's why we talk about the whole acceptance thing, is because it's so important. It's not just there to, one of the big misconceptions that we get when we talk about acceptance with clients is, people will say, okay, that means I'm just going to roll over and die and just, succumb to the situation and just let someone walk all over me, and I'm just going to be a doormat for them or something. And that's not what I'm suggesting at all. Just like I'm not just going to, say, oh gosh, my mom has a heart attack, I'm just going to lie on the floor and, I'm not going to go and help her. I'm not going to go and, drive her to her appointment and drive her home, and I'm not going to do all these things that I can do to help her out. No, I'm just going to lie on the floor and just give up and just succumb to this fate that it seems like is unfolding for my... No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do what I can do to take care of her, but I can work through the the personal snags that I have emotionally when it comes to what she's going through. And that's what I'm asking you to do, is to not see that you accepting something means that it goes away in the physical three-dimensional world, but more as you accept it, as you come to peace with it, as you can be okay with something coming or going, that's when actually things can start to snap into place in an external three-dimensional sense as well. By the way, I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but just for the sake of tying everything up in a nice bow here, my mom is more or less okay. She's doing a lot better after getting the stent in her heart and getting the medical treatment that she needs. She seems to be doing pretty good. She has 1,000,001 follow-up appointments, but at least as far as I know, she's doing okay. But anyway, again, as you start to accept the state of things between you and your partner, or you and your specific person, and as you start to accept that maybe they're not what you want to be, and you stop resisting it, and stop clinging to this idea that if you resist it, it means that you're fighting for it, and it means that you're going to make it happen. And if you let go emotionally, it means it's not going to happen for you. If you start letting go of that, then you're going to actually draw to you better experiences. Okay, you're going to be not amplifying the lack, not amplifying the gap, the missing pieces for you anymore, and you're going to be actually welcoming to you greater things. Anyway, we're going to be talking about more of this in upcoming videos. If you like this information, please make sure you hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, make sure you hit that bell icon, and just leave a comment down below letting me know that you like this kind of stuff, so that I know if I should keep making videos like this, or if you just want to know about text message reverse psychology stuff or whatever. Anyway, thanks so much. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time.